Get started. So as most of you know, the training call for this week was on social media, and it's actually going to be the first of 3 calls on social media. So I know that there can definitely be fears, especially getting started as coaches around social media, but it also is such a huge platform in a way that can really help us be successful. They said, how many people? 2.23 billion users on Facebook. So there is endless supply of potential clients there. So yeah, let's just hop right in and get started. Who has something that they would love to share that maybe was a big takeaway for them from the training call? I'm looking for hands, or if you want to just jump in, that is fine.
Lauren, what really was profound to me was when Rachel said that she followed Tiffany for months and months, and she even knew her, and she was afraid to reach out to her. And it just reminds me that we have so many people that are watching us all the time that we just, we post, and that reaching out is so, it's something that I need to work on more, that, that personal messaging and things like that. But I just thought that was pretty amazing because they had known each other since they were little, but she was afraid to say anything.
And can you, for those of you who weren't able to watch the training call yet, can you explain, Shauna, what happened and how they got connected? And
Well, they had known each other when they were like 10 and, had grown up, and then they moved away, and then they reconnected on Facebook, and Tiffany was building her business, and Rachel was watching her and watching all these posts. And she said she was just amazed that for months and months she watched her and never reached out. And then one day Tiffany reached out to her in a private message. And that was a lot of the theme of that conversation between them was making sure that we reach out to people, because, and Tiffany had even talked about watching somebody in another business build their business and post and post and post. And she was afraid to reach out to her, but saw somebody that she knew that she had a relationship with. So it was the whole crust of it was building those relationships with people, that you may not have a solid relationship with now.
Yeah. So what do you think you're going to do differently now after hearing that piece, that training?
Oh my gosh. Well, after Tiffany said, this was profound to me. She said at the end of the day, it's the back end of our business. It's the back end of social media where our business is going to grow. And that's the messaging.
Yeah.
And, the personal contact. So that's what I'm going to work on. Awesome. I don't have a problem with the 333.
Yeah.
But that, going in there on those personal conversations.
I don't do 3 and 3. Piece of shit.
Oh. So I'm going to work on that.
Who's unmuted? Let's see. Is that Danielle maybe? Okay, there we go. Sorry guys. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Shauna. That was a huge takeaway for me too. I think because we don't always think about like the people who aren't reaching out to us, that are watching us, and and what it's going to take to really reach them. And I loved that. I think she said that day when Tiffany messaged her, they ended up getting on a health assessment and signing up that day.
Yeah.
And now she's an integrated presidential director. And so how powerful that one, who knows what would have happened if Tiffany never reached out. And so that one message, that one private message changed the trajectory of Rachel's life. So how cool. I just got chill bumps thinking about that. I mean, that's the power. That's what's so cool, is we have that power of connection with tons and tons and tons of people from all walks of our life, Awesome. Thanks so much, Shauna. Anybody else want to share? Zine, I saw your hand go up.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. About every people watching us, and you really don't know how many people are watching. I just got a call. Someone that has said, I've been watching you for a year, watching all your posts, and I just wasn't ready, but I'm ready now. And so, that just says it all. And what I really got also in this, the recording is not to scroll through your news feed. That to me, that's a lot of time taking up looking at all of that. If there's somebody that you want to follow, goes right to their page. I mean, that's taken a lot of time off of my mornings, not just going through that and just getting to business. So I just thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, we don't think about the time that we waste just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So that was actually that was a big takeaway for me too. Thanks so much, Zena. Did you notice this morning a little difference in the freedom that you had then to be able to start conversations?
Oh yeah, definitely. It makes a lot of time freed up. And so yeah, I have more time to go in and do those conversations. And I have a Zena the Coach page, and I've been going into that and following up with conversations. And cool. That just blows my mind also, that there are so many people out there that I would have completely let them go and not said anything. And just where I'll go in and say, gee, thanks for liking my post. And then someone said, you know, she wasn't even sure which post she liked because she likes a lot of them. And then when we started talking, you know, I said, yeah, you know, we started talking about getting healthy. And she said, oh boy, I really need to get healthy. That's a big part in my life that I'm not working on. And it just started that conversation that I never would have.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
Thanks so much for sharing, Zena. Carol, I'm going to call on you. So, Carol, so I think you're talking about responding to comments and the power of like starting that conversation in comments and then bringing it to Messenger. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I really appreciated that because we keep hearing about get to Messenger, get to talking to people and stuff like that. And I always did think it was, and I know they say don't be weird, and I always did feel weird going in Messenger to say stuff to people that I had not talked to them in a long time. And I like the idea of, once you get into a deeper conversation or stuff about the program, then obviously, yes, get back there. Or if you want to, again, if you feel like you have an open door to be more personal, I guess is the way I felt. But first just start, commenting about something they've posted or something has happened. And in the same way, you can be sharing your heart that can help somebody else that happens to read it, not just the person that receives it.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that point. And Carol posted an incredible transformation from herself this week. And I noticed, Carol, you even did this with me, but I noticed how intentional you were at responding to the people's comments who commented, because a lot of people commented because it was an incredible post. And so, I mean, you just really display your heart, wide open for people to see, just even by responding to what the nice things that people are saying about you. And I know sometimes it can feel, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I know I used to not be able to take compliments. I used to have a hard time taking compliments. But when we own and acknowledge that someone is complimenting us, there's so much power in that. And then that just continues that positive conversation. So thanks so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was just going to say something that helped me with that was they commented, if they saw you in the store and they commented you, would you put your head down and walk away? Yeah. Or would you respond? So that kind of helped me with that too.
Yeah, totally. Not making it awkward on social media.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks, Carol, for sharing. Sure. Oh, Debbie.
Hey guys. I wanted to share something, and it definitely goes to what we're talking about. I was at home this weekend, and a young woman, I'll say young woman, she's my age, actually passed away. And it was as years later after weight loss surgery. And like, it just broke my heart, because I know that she had gotten to a place of just complete disability and complete just despair, and she kept seeking doctors and they kept operating on her, and she got where she wasn't getting out of bed. So like, it just really kind of renewed my fire to keep reaching out to people and just connecting so that nobody feels that despair.
Wow. Thanks, Debbie, for sharing.
It was terrible,
Yeah. Wake up call.
Very much so.
I loved when they talked about that we have the keys to freedom.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, just as a little, I think it just, for me, it was just affirming that what we're doing really, really matters.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I mean, obviously so sad for her. But hopefully the people in her world, you know, will see that and want to make changes in their own life. And
Definitely.
Yeah. Thanks, Debbie, for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah, how powerful that we have the keys to freedom in our hands and that we can share that with literally billions of people on social media. And obviously in the real world as well. Looking for, there's 3 screens of people, so I'm trying to scan for hands.
Can I just shout out?
Yes, who is that?
It's Katie.
Hey, go for it, Katie.
Okay. I've always, y'all know, a lot of you know, I've struggled with social media. I was not a big fan of it before I became a coach. So I would do kind of like, you know, oh, there's a special thing, I'll post it. But I wasn't really into it. And so I was always that person that was like, I don't want to be that person that, you know, does everything all the time. So I watched this. I've been working on the social media thing for months. And slowly I've noticed that for a while there, I was like forcing it. I was like, okay, let me post this and let me post this and let me post this. And I was like so much health coach, like everything I was doing, it was just so forced. And it was a podcast, I think, with Doug Wood that I watched a couple of, maybe a month ago. And he said, do not just be a health coach. Yeah. Do not post everything, you know. And so I immediately went in and deleted half those posts. And I was like, okay, let's start from scratch. So this has been kind of the next thing I needed to kind of hear. And I watched this the week it came out. And then I rewatched it to kind of recheck myself. And it was really good for me because I've really noticed that now I'm really trying to balance my posts. Sometimes I don't do the 3 and 3. I mean, I just don't do it. I do it really from my heart and where I feel most authentic.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed that's helped me is that I'm really trying to be more balanced. You know, I do my life stuff and then I do some health coaching and then but I've had like 2 friends of mine that over the weekend, well, one of them was through another friend that I found this out, and she was like, what exactly does Katie do? Does she just want to make everybody feel good? Does she just randomly post stuff and she just always is making everybody feel good? But what does she do? And I was like, oh, maybe I should reach out to her. And I've talked to her. She's asked me about the program before. I've talked to her in person about it. So I'm going to reconnect with her. But then my neighbor who told me that, she said, you're one of those people. It's like, you don't want to stand beside your dentist and eat sugar because you know that he's going to critique. She goes, I don't want to go out to dinner with you because you're going to critique like everything I eat. So I'm kind of like going, okay, I need to just revamp. So, but long story short, what I got out of this was a ton of stuff. And the main thing is that I've gone back and I have looked over my feed for the last month to see what an outsider sees. And I'm happy with the balance. I'm starting to see, okay, this is kind of representative of who I am in my life. And it's not too much the health coach stuff. But I know all of us can identify when you are so passionate about wanting everyone to feel as amazing as you do because of something, it's hard not to just, you know, throw it up on everybody.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those kind of things that you gotta balance.
Yeah.
But I like the last thing I'll say is, you know, you just want to consistently add value to someone else's life, and you connect your mind with your heart, and the long term, not the short term.
Crap.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. Thanks, Katie. And Beth said she can tell that you've been more intentional in your posting. And I thought that was a great point about, you know, having a really balance, showing your life and what's most important to you. And not just all about health coaching and a lean and green meal and then a quote and then a transformation post, but really incorporating you and helping and having you and your spirit and your realness and your authenticity and even some of your struggles, a little bit of your struggles, not a lot, but a little bit of that struggle is peeping through. So thanks, Katie, for sharing that. I had a couple people I was going to kind of call on just to share, a couple people on my team who have really noticed some big shifts in their business with kind of conquering fear and overcoming some things around social media. So first, Mom, I'll call on you. For those of you who follow my mom, she is a little bit, let's see, technologically challenged. And she has overcome, oh my gosh, she does more Facebook Lives than anyone I probably know. It has been like the queen of that. And it's just been so cool to see your business boom, Mom, with that. So I would love to just share a little bit, have you share a little bit about how you do Facebook Lives and what you love about that.
Well, it's so funny because don't tell me that. I remember you guys talking about when you first started encouraging us to do Facebook Lives, and everybody was talking about how nervous and how hard it is. And I'm like, don't tell me something's really hard because I'm going to do it. Because that's just the way I've always been with, you know, doing marathons and, you know, half Ironmans. It's like, I love a challenge, you know, I'm up for that. And so, but I was really fearful because of my technological things. And I had to come to grips with, why am I afraid? And it's because of the lies that kept going off in my mind, you know, that, you know, I just can't do this. I'm just not good at this. I just blah, 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 you know, on and on, you know. And I decided that, okay, you're right. I am not.
Now what happened?
And I am not, you know, I'm technologically challenged. So I got a little coach, you know, a little girl from church who is this college student that can do everything. And I'm like, you know what? She can teach me. She'll be patient with me. So I had her, you know, start to teach me. And that's funny because her and a high school student and another guy were the ones that did my very first live at church. Because I thought, well, this is a safe place to do my first live, you know, and I have all these people helping me and all I had to do was stand in front of the camera. And they just did all the work, you know, and made it happen. And so, and then the third thing that I feel like has helped me with the lives is that it's an avenue where I feel like it's the easiest for me to connect, you know, looking right into the camera and thinking that I am speaking to one person. And so I've tried to say not y'all, I've tried to say not you guys, I've really literally changed the way I word things so that when someone's watching it, they're feeling like I'm speaking directly to them and nobody else. And so I heard somebody say that, probably was, I don't remember who it was, maybe Dan or Doug, but so I've tried to take the things that, you know, people have said, but I think for me, I am passionate. I think that anytime I've been really, really passionate about something that I'm passionate about, it's really not hard for me, you know, to express that because as Lauren, as you guys know, Lauren and I kind of wear our hearts on our sleeves. And so it's just being passionate about something. And actually for me to do a live, I've just incorporated things that I'm passionate about. And it's been my family. You guys have probably seen me do it with my mom and my sister and friends that have been old school friends. And then just past, like today, I did a live with Rosalie. We were running around the boulevard and it's like, I'm passionate about my little granddaughter. And then just thinking about the dream of being able to do that with her a year ago. And here we are literally running around the boulevard. And so it's just having something that you're passionate about and really making sure that you are passionate about what it is that you're going to talk about. Like I really plan through every week, what am I going to do this week you know, what am I passionate about this week? How can I connect with people this week? So that's kind of it. I probably said too much, but anyway.
No, great, Mom. Thank you so much. And Craig asked, what have been some themes for your live videos that have felt made the biggest impact or connection with people?
Wow, I tell you, that's the thing, is that I've done a lot of posts and I'm learning how to do them, but I get like 200, and for me, because I started with 0 followers, right? So I'm now up to like 200 and something, but when I get 200 people looking at a video, it's because I'm not being the person in the limelight. It's like I'm focusing in on somebody else and letting them tell their story, and asking them the questions that will bring out, you know, things about their story. And so that's what I've done, and those have been the big follows. And you know, where I do get emotional, and I'm not, you know, I don't apologize for that, where people can see the passion and they can see that, you know, this is something I love.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom. You're such an example of that. And your compassion and passion for people is so evident in your life. So you're setting an example for us. And Beth asked a question, what are some tips for having balance? So Beth, kind of meaning balance between sharing about health coaching and sharing about my life, or is that what you meant?
Yeah, I follow you, and some of your things are just so natural, like you posted about your address book. I would never think to do, not your address, your calendar.
Mm-hmm.
I would never even think to do something like that. Where do you come up with ideas like that are interesting and not just like, oh, here's my calendar, which is what I would do.
Well, it's funny because actually I posted that because of the training video, because she talked about how everyone would know that I love coffee and everyone would know that I love Disney. And I was like, how much am I really showing about the little things that I love? You know, because I think it's very easy for me to share scriptures and motivational quotes and transformation stories and all of this, but I wanted to make sure people were really seeing me too, and the things that are important to me, even the small, tiny things. And so that's what made me think to post about my planner. And I didn't realize how much response would come from that, but I think there was like 20 something comments about how much I love having a paper planner instead of a Google Calendar. And so it just sprung up a lot of conversation. So, you know, I think the little things, just sharing the little things about you, is intriguing for people and kind of can open up some conversation. It doesn't have to, you know, like she shared, you know, it can just be something small and something that you love. And I think the quote that I loved was, show what matters most to you. And even the small things. So, yeah, does anybody have anything else they want to share right now? And then I do want to call on one more person. Maybe a challenge or something you're overcoming. Okay, well, I will let you guys think on that. I'm going to open it up to Myrna, because Myrna is the queen of conversations. So she started with the contact list, with her hundreds list, and then now she's actually reaching out to everyone on her friends list and just keeping conversations going. So tell us a little bit about how you do that, how you structure that time, and what you've noticed in your business with making that a priority.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. So it started with when Carol Hips did the whole, I think it's like even from week 1, but the video on her hundreds list and how she works her hundreds list. So I finally decided, let me write down my list, thought about everybody that I knew, people that were really close to me, and made that hundreds list. We've all kind of heard that. So that's where it started. And then I worked through that first 100 list and I was like, well, what do I do now? And then so I made another hundreds list. And then one day I realized, like, I have 1,167 friends. I look at it daily. So, and that's on Facebook, not in real life. I think my definition for friends in real life is completely different. But on Facebook, I have 1,167 friends. And so I just started like at the very top of the list, and I started messaging each person. And if it was somebody that I had already messaged like within the last month, then I didn't message them. But if it was somebody that didn't have a message at all from me, then I sent them a message. And it was something as simple like as if I was at Walmart running into them, like, hey, how you doing? Or, oh my goodness, hey, it's been so long. Like, what have you been up to since high school? And just having like just starting those conversations, like literally it's that simple. I started with like, so 15 minutes, I'm going to message to everybody I can get on my friends. And people was responding and like, no, I don't want to have this full conversation right now. Like, I just need to get through just sending a message for the first 15 minutes. And then after those 15 minutes, I would start responding, and I would give myself out 30 minutes. Because earlier that was how much time I had to do that. Making sure that I'm like sending out starting that conversation. And some of those conversations came back with like, oh my gosh, it has been so long. You look great. Like literally that's the thing for everybody. You look great, and your daughter's super cute too. And I'm like, you can tell what's important to me. And so it's been really fun, like getting those messages back, not because they're tooting my horn, but really like because they're seeing my life, which made me realize how important it would be to actually posting about my life. And so like really tying that whole thing together where I'm adding those friends. And as I add friends, I automatically like send them, hey, thanks for the connect. It's been so long. How are you doing? But I just saw Beth sent a message. What if it's someone you're friends with on Facebook but don't really know them? I have a lot of those, Beth, where I'm friends with them and I just added them and I don't really know them. So I message them too, because my goal is by the end of July, because July is my open month. I'm a teacher. So, this is my first month where I'm actually open and free. And so one of my goals is by the end of July to have sent at least one message to every single one of my Facebook friends that says at least, hey, how are you? So for those people that I don't really know, it's like, hey, we have so many mutual friends in common. Like, how are you doing? How are things going in your life? Or I just take a look at their Facebook wall and see to them, and I see that they have a dog, and I connect over that. Like, hey, your dog is super cute. How are things going? Or to some people, I've just been as basic as like, hey, how are things going? At that, and we started a conversation from there. And typically, what is like, wow, you look so great, and your daughter's super cute too. It really happens a lot. They say that, literally those words. So when I really don't know what to say, I just go with, hey, how are you doing? How are things going in your life? So I really try not to complicate it. And honestly, at the heart of it, I just want to get to know people. Like I realized and I found that my authenticity and my desire to connect with people has increased by starting these conversations, because I just want to know everybody's story. And I think people think I'm being silly, but I literally just want to know everybody's story. So I start those conversations, and then I take a break after sending like all those messages, and then I come back, and oh my gosh, there's like so much to respond to. See, Carol had a question where it's more difficult. They don't post, so there's not something to speak about. Hey, oh, thanks. And so honestly, like I just start conversations, and I just talk to people and see where it goes. And some of them turn into health assessments. Some of them don't. Some of them I realize, oh, I sent you a message a month ago and you never responded. That's okay. In another month, if I said they hadn't responded, I'll probably follow up and be like, hey, what's about you? Like, how are things going? But for now, that's where I'm at with just trying to start those conversations. Is who's open to that conversation. And then those people who do respond with, what are you doing? How have you lost weight or whatever? When they ask those questions, those people get added to my hundreds list, because those are the people I want to bring back up every single month, and really get back to every single month, because there's a seed there that they're interested in hearing more about the program. So I cement them down on my list. So hopefully that shares a little bit of how those conversations are going with me.
I love that. Thanks so much, Myrna. And I think something we talked about today, I'm just going to be kind of honest with the conversation we had today, Myrna, if that's okay, was that you don't always see the response of this investment right away, and Myrna was like, I'm doing all this work and I'm not getting all the clients today or this week. And I'm like, you know what, Myrna, like, I promise you're planting seeds. We're just going to stay consistent. And I promise that there will be good that comes out of this. And so I think for all of us, that's a good lesson. And we keep hearing that, that sometimes we're putting in a lot of work right now, and we may not see the full fruit of that for 1 month, 3 months, but I promise that when you're doing the heart work and you're investing time, and that it will show up in your business. And it may not be today, it may not be next week, but it will show up. And so, gosh, thank you. So I can't believe this time is already over. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Myrna and Mom, for sharing, getting on here and sharing, and giving us great tips. And thank you for everybody who got to share tonight. And I'm sorry for anybody who didn't get called on. But I love this team. I love all you guys. And it's so cool to think about all the people that we can impact, and how many more people we can reach through using social media, really sharing our hearts and sharing our mission and our hope, and giving people that beacon of hope. So I feel so blessed to be able to work with all of you guys and be able to have this incredible team. 8 o'clock is Dr. A's call. So like right now. And then at 8:30 is the awesome training that we've been getting from the top leaders in the company. If you guys have not been watching that, please get on that at 8. Did I say 8? I meant 8:30. Please get on that call, because that call is awesome. So you guys have a great week. Thanks so much for being on here, and we'll see you next Monday at 7:30.